As we entered the town, it was relatively peaceful. Just joking. No way it would have been. The Griffins were yelling in the streets, haggling, trying to get people to buy their products in their little stands. And the Diamond Dogs were trying to sell gems, some of high value, some of low. But I envied them to push themselves a bit further. Some wonder, some may ask questions about my armor and my sword, and why I worship the god Talos, or Talos. Well, it is simple. The reason I worship Talos is he was a great man. Well, he was good nevertheless. I have his blessing. Before Talos had died, his blood was filled in a sacred bottle. I had ended up finding that bottle and infusing his blood into my armor, my shield, my swords, and my bow and arrow. Not my arrows, just my bow. It gave them remarkable traits. I even have a ring and a necklace. Necklace was a necklace of Talos. The necklace represented a few different things, in my beliefs. Whenever I had infused his blood, it had given me magical abilities. Many had tried and many had failed. They were not deemed worthy for Talos. If they were corrupt, they were cursed. But if they were of good spirit, they would be gifted. I had done and played my deed to be gifted, I said whilst walking. Feather was confused where I had struck this up, but I decided to tell him just to humor him. And my very body has been blessed. My armor gives me certain abilities. And my body, well, that's enough said. Before anything else could happen, a griffin had bumped into 3 Diamond Dogs. They dropped their bags, and one of the jewels fell and smashed against a rock. They turned to this griffin and said, "Hey, Featherwings." She turned and said, "Yeah, what do you want, mutt? You made me drop my jewel and now it's broken. You're gonna pay for it. I'm gonna bust your teeth. And better yet, I'll bust that beak right off your face." Of course, the griffin retorted. It was to be expected, of course. As they went back and forth in a meaningless argument, I saw the opportunity and stepped in before anything could be thrown or hit. They saw me step between them. I said, "There will be nothing of the sort happening. Whether you like it or not, you're going to turn ways and walk off." Whether you like it or not, you're going to turn ways and part. Spotting the Diamond Dog group, I had immediately noticed a few subtle facts. The first thing was, There were 3 diamond dogs, of course. I told you that earlier. The first one, the leader. The second one, the hunchman. Strong and fighting, willing, for and with his leader. The third one was unsure of himself, of course. He was more there for the job and nothing more and nothing less. He kept telling his leader how it wasn't worth it. Eventually he told him to shut up and smacked him on the snout. I looked at him and said, "Your companion there seems to have a good idea. I'd say you back down. It is not worth fighting, my friend." It's not worth it, huh? Not worth it, huh? Let me tell you something, buddy. Let me tell you something, buddy. The only thing stopping me from taking my foot here and slam it in your face is the fact that I know a big bloke like you. I know blokes like you. You won't fight with your sword. You'll fight with your fist. I looked at him and told him, "And what makes you so sure of that, my friend? What would make you, a man of your apparent status, so sure?" He looked and said, "The way you carry yourself, mate." It's pretty obvious, to be honest with you. Well, I'm going to tell you once, and only once. Leave. This is not a battle you wish to fight. Really now, this isn't a battle. Did you hear that, guys? Bloke says I can't fight it. What the mate? I'm gonna kick your teeth in. Before he can even take one step, one little step, my hand lights up a bluish glow, and I pull it in and I yank it outward, causing a circular sphere to emit, taking in a bit of land. I had casted a frost thrall spell. It had come out big, bulky, and huge. The way it menaced and looked, it was unbelievable to them. They had never seen something of the sort. I had looked at them and told them, "This battle has been lost already. I suggest you turn. I will not spill blood and will not raise my fist unless you raise yours, but I will do what must be necessary to avoid conflict. My friends, I suggest you turn. You turn your head the other way." They looked at the giant frost beast as it took one foot and slammed it forward in front of itself. They turned tail and ran. The griffin looked at me with a raised eye, curious. Feather was flabbergasted. He didn't even know how he casted a spell of this sort. I smiled. As we had begun walking, we looked at each other. Everything was okay, so to speak. We had went and rented a small room. We planned to stay in town for a few days to get rest. Once we had laid down, we thought all was about to be, as we were about to strike up another conversation until there was a knock at the door. I went up and opened it to find that very same griffin. I looked at her and said, "Well, this is an unexpected surprise. What is the... well, what do I owe the visit of one of your status, my dear?" There was a very, very, very slight tinge of red on her cheeks, or whatever, or her feathers. He didn't really know. And she shook her head and said, "Well, dweeb, that is mine truly. Name's Gilda."